Yeah. Okay. Hey, let's go for this. That's a Saki flex. That's a Saki bear. That's a Saki. That's a Saki. I got a tomahawk, bitch. You know. I got a bow and an arrow. Like a Christmas song, I don't be knowing no carols. I was the one that's forgiven when we had Thanksgiving, but we was to talk about Earth. Foreigners came over here and they fucked up the Pope, but then they started talking about work. Any discussion we having with one of my niggas that pulled out the tomahawk first. It's like, that's a Saki. That's a Saki. That's a Saki flex. I could tell her. It's in Ohio, across the Milton Park, like Jonesboro, right by the creek. I'm going to say that it is no other place in the world I'd rather be. I got the Indian spirit, my family got secrets that I gotta keep. It was the Giants up over here before the colonists got on the beach. No, I ain't playing no football, but shit is full contact, so I got some cleats. Came from a village, then went to a city, now look on me, I got a street. The friction and fetish was buying these furs, and that is what I gotta mean. You was just thinking that you was Freemason, that's why you got eyes on a G. Yeah, you was just thinking that you was a Cherokee, that's why you buying a G. Yeah, I don't be fucking my slaves unless I got family that died in the seas. You are a doggy and better believe I'm the one that's supplying the leads. Yeah, why are you trying to be? Yeah, I was the one that was picking my body and camouflage behind the trees. I'd rather die before I go pick up my freedom or body and deed. I would do 99 things, but one of them never has lied my seed. Play by like, that's a Saki flex. That's a Saki. That's a Saki. That's a Saki. I got a tomahawk, bitch. You know. I got a bow and an arrow. Like a Christmas song, I don't need no arrows. I was the one that's forgiven when we had Thanksgiving, but we was to talk about Earth. Foreigners came over here and they hopped up the boat, but then they start talking about work. Any discussion we having with one of my tactics and pull out this tomahawk first. It's like, that's a Saki. That's a Saki. I was the one in the village that chillin' and making the firewood. Yeah. Anytime there's an invasion, you know that the natives behind the woods. To be getting it free, now we meeting the store just for buying some goods. The torture was sour, they putting poison in the cornmeal flour. My people dying like back to back, didn't know they was eating some shattered glass. She got me crying in the kitchen, man, I to pull up that Michelin like a gnat. I was the one on the escalade way before you was just driving a Cadillac. Yeah, I was the one that was here for a million years and I made it my habitat. Like, that's a Saki flex. That's a Saki. That's a Saki. That's a Saki. I got a tomahawk, bitch. You know. I got a bow and an arrow. Like a Christmas song, I don't be knowing no carols. I was the one that's forgiven when we had Thanksgiving, but we was to talk about Earth. Foreigners came over here and they caught up the boat, but then they start talking about work. Any discussion we had about one of my tactics and pull out the tomahawk first. Yes, that's a Saki. That's a Saki.
I'm the best rapper alive. A little further than that. Now look, check this out. We're gonna break down some real good energies and stuff like that, so you could be aware of. It's like the filtering system. This is the filter system everybody gonna be in. You know what I'm saying? Whether they know it or not, they're not gonna know that the spirit is feeding. So everything is a form of food. You know, the spirit eat thoughts and feelings and stuff like that, right? So before you get the collection of thoughts and feelings that formulate through your mosquito body, and then you be like, this is what I like for me, it be fruit that's made for all of us. The same way that all of us can see the sun, all of us can experience a cloud, all of us spirits eat this form first. This be the first formation of Eden. And the way that the food is Garden of Eden, and the way that the food is planted, right, is due to the fact of the season and the alignment. So really the sun and the moon pocket. So it's letting you know what kind of food the spirit is eating first to start to feel like it's replenished, to start to develop its own singular perspective of thoughts and feelings. So this takes you behind a layer, right? Because a lot of times when we want to talk about astrology or astronomy, it goes beyond these things. You know what I'm saying? You can't change the sun and the moon being in a position differently for it to not be spring, and change spring into fall time, and change summer into winter time. Nor do I want you thinking everything is just predicated on season. It's showing you a mechanism, and you're supposed to see how this mechanism play out in everyday life on a smaller scale, and we're just breaking it down on a larger scale, and it goes even larger than that, to the unseen. And these are just representations that's, you know, metaphysically and then physically, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, what we could be aware of, and then 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, what we can actually weigh once the light is condensed, and it's put you in a situation of knowing what's actually going on. So before we even get the atmosphere and we getting it condensed and you getting sunlight and things of that nature, you think there's not something being taken from that after it's being produced? You're just witnessing after effects and not know how to have your senses sensitive to see how these is the first things you're eating, for you to even have like a dream and things of that nature, to combat it with your own. So you gotta have your mind in that frame, because a lot of times your spirit be in a certain mood even when you wake up in the morning, because you was eating some bull. And we ain't even talk about what you physically ate, but sometimes when you spiritually in a space, spiritually, you put your soul into a representation of a certain mentality, train of thought, line of reasoning, that condense and become feelings. Then that lead into actions, into you doing actions similar to that thought frame anyway, that represent the spiritual space you in. And let's say the previous night you probably was in a McDonald's type of space, so on your mind you went to McDonald's and you ate some McDonald's. But I'm not saying it's just all predicated on McDonald's. I'm just giving y'all the awareness of, even when it already play out physically, these be things you already doing spiritually, and you be eating a lot of things, quote unquote, food for thought. You see what I'm saying? The food for your thought patterns. So when you get other angles of seeing something and being aware of things, right? This help you understand before you start to get into a certain bias, and there be information right in front of you. God could be right in front of you. Wisdom could be right in front of you. Knowledge could be right in front of you. But due to the fact of your language, your bias, how you see something, doesn't have anything to do with your real matters in your life, especially when it comes to money. It'd be things that you totally disregard that is necessary for your life, for you to even be more better or more sufficient in the area that you think is more important, to outright throw out these things because you're not spiritually sensitive to the senses. You know what I'm saying? So just getting into the real clutter, the real detail, the real devil, to know that it's just formation. Yeah, double eggs, not double eggs. It's this formation. You get double egg cut in half, put a little, you know what I'm saying? Get the little, y'all mix y'all together and stuff like that. But that's how it play out. So for the most part, it's always a beyond attribute before it condense and before your spirit start to absorb. And then once your spirit, individual soul, absorb, then for the most part, you know how to do that for yourself. You start to express a mentality, and then you can push out ones you can eat, or other individuals that doing the same thing. And then it goes into the physical representation. Things that you're doing represent what's on your mind. You know what I'm saying? So if the things that you're doing represent what's on your mind, the things on your mind represent what spiritual space you in as a soul, an individual soul, solo. So for the most part, you can't really hide from what you are. But I mean, over the time, individuals, as far as humans, got good at it. But depending on what form is it in, like, is it because it's something everybody agree with, like Walt Disney, or is it because something that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it'd be synthetic. And then when you don't have the synthetic thing, it have you questioning yourself. Then when you start questioning yourself, you're really just questioning the inability of what you was obtaining externally. And if you get too lost into that, for the most part, you're going to be in a position of degrading yourself. Not the external downgrade, but it might even be things that you obtain that you don't look at like it no longer matter, or however the case. Especially with people that you have attracted, or situations you have attracted from that thing, that start to separate. Those things going to separate on its own and start to make you feel misplaced, or start to make you feel like, well, maybe I ain't doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful not to get lost into these external representations that's supposed to represent you. But for the most part, just letting y'all know, it's the higher attribute when it comes into all things that we're looking at. And that's why I even put it in a number fashion. You know, anybody into gematria, numerology, or astrology, but not the pseudo aspect, but you understand it a little bit, you know kind of what I'm doing, even in the title, or however the case may be. When it comes to 7, and that's where the moon represent Libra right now, the 7th sign, the 9th sign, Sagittarius, and them making a 60-degree angle between each other, as far as the sun being in Sagittarius and the moon being in Libra. And that alignment, that angle, matters more than the word and the language y'all putting on it. So, and then it allowed, once you got the word and the meaning, it has some truth to it, but a lot of the other stuff don't allow you to dive into the actual meaning and results of how this play out in many different attributes, in many different ways. So you don't have to get lost into the, you know, the rhetoric or the dirt that sometimes astrology has that come with it. based upon a lot of atheists that was involved in a lot of these arguments, and a lot of other people that just looked at it in other type of ways, like, oh, this don't work in this way, or this ain't get me no money, or this ain't, you know what I'm saying, about all that. And then it's not even about the terminology that you're utilizing it in, because that's a problem, and that's what I'm trying to get people out. Also, the baggage that it come with, the term astrology and astronomy and numerology and gematria. You know what I'm saying? You'll hear people online right now breaking down numerology and gematria purely from an online these numbers mean this English word meanings. It's like stupid. It has anything to do with nothing. If anything, if you want to make it simple for people who already did the work for you, numerology won't be nothing else but in gematria, but the calculating the seasonal cycle. You know what I'm saying? So it really won't be nothing of that. So even if anybody want to get lost in the la la land rabbit hole of it, it's going to be bringing up stories about other people and colonists that did things when they was thinking about it the same way I'm thinking about it. And they're lost in whoever their descendants is upholding and praising that, whatever the case may be, and try to do a remix version of it in today's time. So that'd be only the furthest they go from a person that's lost in a rabbit hole concept of it. But at some point, when we just talk about numerology, that's just the art of deduction, knowing what something means on its own, by itself, singular. And then for the most part, when we start to talk about gematria, that's the art of deduction. So you got the art of subtraction, you got the art of deduction. Art of deduction and the art of addition. For the most part, that's gematria, when you get to add on numbers or singular symbols and signs, and see what meant singular with numerology, art of deduction. What that meant singular with numerology, put them together, it become compound, and now you got gematria. But the terms themselves and the meaning is the faulty reasoning or the line of train of thought that'll lead you down of why I'm trying to fix your mind in a certain way. So the frame of thought when you're looking at anything isn't in the duplicate GMO spectrum of it, of something that we all supposed to be able to understand without it even being that deep. And then once you understand it simply, then you can go deep. Once you go deep first and try to make something simple, ain't no telling what toy box at KB Toy Store you in. Then you're going to be thinking that the DC Comics is the god, the dark seed, and then somebody from the Marvel Comics toy box going to be saying, nah, Thanos is God, or whatever the case may be. And y'all don't know, y'all just both in toy boxes, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times y'all got to look at things from a perspective of, oh, okay, people just make toys. Once you understand that, you'll be like, oh, okay, DC Comics Darkseid is made from somebody's idea. Then you got the other person, Thanos, like, okay, that was made somebody who was in Stan Lee's crew. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, now you ain't got to over-exaggerate. You can make something simple. Now go deep. All right, this is the mind frame people be in, trying to look at something that they was relating to within themselves. It just was probably on a higher bias level and opposite than whatever my bias will be. You know what I'm saying? Then for the most part, then you start to try to find areas where y'all should be biased at, because y'all share similar organs, regardless of what you're looking at, well, authorship or however the case may be, beyond comic books and stuff. And then for the most part, that's when you're able to actually perceive what communion or union that we're all connected with, that you have no choice through your subjective bias to have. And when you know how to do that better with your own bias, you know that you only trying. You know you ain't God. If you want to remix it into that, you know you only trying. But when you do your best or whatever, you get those type of outcomes. And those outcomes don't be necessarily having anything to do with what people externally have wrapped themselves up, in the external world. You see what I'm saying? Get your coffee game up. Tea game. I take a sip before it stops steaming. I'm talking too much, and I'm like, wait a minute, man. I just heated it up. I ain't about to talk it till it be cold. I'm gonna enjoy this moment. You know what I'm saying? Steam already going a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna enjoy this moment. You know what I'm saying? Coffee gave up, yo. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all just get the spirituality. And I'm not saying coffee made people spiritual. Weed made people spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Swimming make some people spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Fixing cars make some people spiritual, or whatever the case may be. But it's that space you get in that you know you're developing these thoughts and feelings that bend in and become adrenaline and motivation for you to do something that puts you in a better position than somebody throughout the day, like a family member, friend, associate, or coworker that you can bet your bottom dollar they spend more time in a depression state than you. And that's not to say we all don't got depression states and things of that nature, but it's just to say it ain't what we deal with, it's how we deal with it. And that goes for everything: love, fear. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what we deal with, it's how we deal with it. And for the most part, when you have an insufficient way of how to deal with it, that means you have an insufficient way of doing something, like an ability that God gave you. Thinking is just a collection of ideas and feelings, how we broke it down, which I'm gonna break down on Patreon, how to go a little deeper on there and shit. Like, I know I've been putting a lot of external work in the world, but I'm slowing up on the external because I got a lot of work done. Now I can get back online and interact and chop it up and be mixy a little bit and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm above all programs anyway, so I'm like the program. So it doesn't even matter what world I'm in. I know how to deal with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody thinking they doing anything special over there. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm the father of this land. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? But we get a communion. We get something going. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for Brother Connor, man, to throw some new deals out. I said, Brother Connor, man, when we doing something new in this age? You know what I'm saying? When we gonna do something new in this age? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because if we ain't doing something, it's starting to look like the next president might be Japanese. It's starting to look like everybody. It don't matter. Everywhere we go, everybody be like, man, what if we had a China president or something like that? You think I like hearing stuff like that? I don't like hearing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like hearing stuff like that. This ain't even online. This is real life. I'm saying, hey, man, shit, we should have a China. We never have a Chinese president before that. Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute now. We talking a little too far now. I think we're going to get Americans out the way and get Brother Connor man back. You know what I'm saying? To care about America again and not just Canada and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff other than that. But yeah, just getting into the energies that we in right now. Like I said, right? The moon represents the energies that makes us feel like the home energy or the comfortability energy. So anytime we're not around the energy that the moon is in, for us all. Now, you know, a lot of times people are having disgruntled days. For an example, it's not the stars don't align for everybody, but what do that actually mean? The moon or the sun may be angling you with that angel angle to put you in a demonic nature underneath it and things of that nature, or in resistant mode, or however the case, aka you're in a square alignment, or in conjunction, quincunx, opposition alignment, semi-square, however the case it may be. But, you know, when it comes to the square, that's 90 degree, in conjunction, 150 degree, that's the quincunx also, or opposition, 180 degree. So that's something complete opposite. So that'll be something, if it's your sun sign, it will be your earth sign, wherever the sun or the moon is at, 180 degree, your opposite sign. Or if it's the in conjunction or the square, in conjunction 150, the square 90 degree. So think about a square. It makes sharp edges. So in the physical world, everything in reverse. You want a nice sharp edge that something else could be on it, like a platform, however the case may be, if we wanted to make something out of it. But in the spiritual world, it makes you more linear, however the case may be, because you have to focus thoughts and feelings. So your spirit have to be inside of a thought and feeling, and it has to be focused and rooted, and that's how we're making organs and physical flesh in the first place. So a lot of times it makes you unwiggly. It makes you lack vibe if you stay in that space too long. So you got to have a little balance in the spiritual world to know how to look at it within that lens. So you know when you're producing yourself in the physical world, you know why you got two left feet. You know what I'm saying? And now you can get into a spiritual mathematics study of it, not just a regular, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I just got it, or I just don't got it. No, it can be learned, or whatever the case may be. But, you know, certain spirits, it got qualities in other spaces that other spirits don't. For all of us. You know what I'm saying? For all of us. So that puts us in that situation. So you don't have a spiritual ego about yourself. That's not healthy in the world. God don't like ugly. That's an ugly thought, ugly form. There's always some, even somebody who's partially brain dead, that got better qualities than you. So on the autism, or whatever, like that. And then if you're going through something bad, there's always somebody who could be going through there's always someone going through something worse. So, and then and vice versa for their same circumstances. So as long as you keep your spirit open, you don't experience the high magnitude extremities of these things, as long as you don't make it, because we make up these forms. We make love. You make up an extremity over exaggeration, and then for the most part it become your goddamn reality, and you can't see it no other way. Someone will have to force you. Look, that's worse. Look, that could be you. Look, you could still be in a halfway house. You know what I'm saying? You get hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? You get hard-headed. But life's supposed to teach you that. When you off your lands and stuff like that, you need medicine men like me. You know what I'm saying? Because on this land, the sky's my father and the land is my mother. So for the most part, everybody family. So you like my cousin if you over here, you like my brother, you like my sister, you like my cousin or whatever. So I got to guide you and stuff like that, because I ain't in your house, you're in my house. So in the spiritual world, I'm not gonna have you hungry. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how other people is in other areas or whatever. I don't go on vacation a lot. I ain't gonna have you hungry or whatever the case may be. And you might think this is just a talk or however the case may be, but how long I've been online? And we're doing this in new age right now. You see what I'm saying? You're just getting what everybody doing in real life everywhere now. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I ain't gonna leave you out with no shelter. I ain't gonna leave you out with no sheep. You know what I'm saying? Out in the wilderness and the cold to get ate by the beasts. You know what I'm saying? Chased by the giants and things of that nature. So for the most, don't go whistling in the woods at night. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of things that built as comfort zones over here that still put you in the dark, that still put you in the woods and stuff like that. And a lot of times it just looked like it's light because it may be one with batteries in it or however the case may be. But the soon the battery go out, soon as the litness go out, soon as the attention go away, soon as you don't see things the way you think you want to see it, and then that's when you know where you was at the whole time. You was in the dark, you was in a shady backyard, you was in a valley of death, and you're gonna have to put birth to something else. And we ain't talking about nobody dying. It's talking about a thought form that you are in, and it may have accumulated you in a certain position, but it's no longer useful. And to overdo it, it's like telling the same joke over and over again and not getting the same response, reciprocation, or laughter. So for the most part, what you gonna do? Deal with your ego and pride, or go ahead and switch up to go find a new light? You see what I'm saying? And realize that you was just in the dark. You know, that light that you was in was blinding you, you know, and then just, you know, batteries ran out like your drunk auntie's dildos in her bed when it vibrate. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, now you get yourself together a little bit and you be like, all right, let me not put myself in this kind of situation again. Let me go ahead and, you know what it actually means, even if I'm in a household with light, or even if I'm in a shelter with no light, or whatever the case may be. That might not be the light I'm actually talking about, but I know I was in that dark space and I ain't realized it was dark until the batteries went out, aka until whatever led me into that space start to fade away. You know what I'm saying? So now when we get into the actual energies themselves, this is now we're going to get into business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, of how the 60-degree angle, 6 represents sex also. It's like a union. Now this is a 60-degree angle, so it's 2 forms of 30. So it's, you know, if the sun was traveling, or not traveling, but you know, us, we're the ones that move. But in the space of facing towards the east and the diangles that we make, all of us being geometers, all of us being astronomers and things of that nature, right? 30 days away plus another 30 days away, and it's replaced the term day with degree. Pardon me. 60 degrees away makes a common union, and the sun and the moon being 2 signs away. Or if the sun, or we was looking at it from the sun being 2 signs away from wherever we made that starting point. So if you started from the beginning of spring Aries, that'll be Aries to Gemini. Starting from Gemini to Leo. Starting from Leo to Libra. Start from Libra to Sagittarius, where we at now. 60-degree angle and things of that nature. So for the most part, there's a communion that we always see, and we was going, it was here before you was here, just like some water was here before you was here. Now, just because you can't look at the senses like forms of water and other areas in life and things of that nature, you're just really an unrelatable person, and you're trying to find something to be unrelatable towards. And the world was made off synchronicities and relatability. So if you can't find and form a relations That's your problem. It's a self-projection. It's something you can't relate to within inside yourself, and you're trying to find it outside. And when you externalize yourself, you the only representation of it, but you might try to remix things outside of you to be it. You know what I'm saying? So don't be a toxic individual. To make that plain and simple. Y'all know I just get spiritually deep and stuff like that. But yeah, that's really just make what it means for a person to be toxic. You know what I'm saying? That spiritually they was in a space that your space ain't in, but previously they was in a space you was in. So the doors was open. Your esoteric doors was open for them to come in with this new bullshit from a different space now they in and stuff like that. All these thoughts and feelings, your spirit start to sense it a little bit. But the physical actions ain't playing out yet. But when the physical actions, you'll start seeing it piece by piece. But then it might take an event that actually block something that you invested in, like your money or your family or whatever you got going on. And then that's when you'll be like, oh, this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? However the situation may be. But a lot of times, y'all, that be too late. Y'all be catching stuff too late. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be having to let no suckers be around y'all that late and stuff like that. You can catch stuff from a mile away, even if that person is always a few inches away from you. And that's what a lot of y'all rappers need to realize. A lot of y'all actors and comedians and stuff like that. Some of y'all, sometimes comedians can learn a little faster than an actor and an actress because of the career magnitude. You know, the comedian can say certain jokes, get into other things to develop their jokes, and don't have to move around. They move around a lot, but not as much as the actor, unless they start to get into acting. Then they know that they lose that passion of comedian again, and they only funny on the big screen. They ain't shit on stage no more. Not like they ain't shit on Def Comedy Jam like they was on Def Comedy Jam. You know what I'm saying? But the artist that has to be, because of the way they make their money, is more about personal and stuff. So they have to be out and about and shake hands and compromising situations a lot. They don't have time to really calibrate and calculate everything they spirit know be going on though. And just some spirits catch it later than others, and they'll be the ones who got more jail time than others and stuff like that. But comedians sometimes can see the world and then ain't as active because of the career magnitude. So they're also able to be in a position like how we got Dave Chappelle turning down $2 million and things of that, or however $1 million that was, for the case of discussions we won't be able to have because we not his family or his friends or his close circle, that you think you intelligent about something. You think you know something these celebrities don't know. Not all of them is as smart, but don't take what you think you know and what you learned offline or a few books for granted. A lot of people be in on the things you think the person you watching is being stupid, and you think you could be like, well, if I was them, I'd do this. If I was them, I'd do that. And if I was Louis Vert, I wouldn't put no staple on my head, whatever the fuck you did. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to know. All you need to know is they making more money than you. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole knowing in itself. That's a whole knowing in itself. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the what. The what is the money. Don't get lost in the what, the how. And a lot of people see the hows and stuff like that and be like, you know what I'm saying? The how sometimes is you got to put your morality in the back seat. You know what I'm saying? The how sometimes you got to like look like a Muppet Baby puppet doll, stuff like that. The how, you know what I'm saying? So depending on how you decipher the how, you know what I'm saying, you'll have a better representation of the what. But a lot of times people don't be caring about the how, nor are they aware of it, and the what is just, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's the money, that's it. So they put themselves in all kind of compromising positions and stuff, like kind of like these old coons y'all got out here in today's times. A lot of that try to make cooning cool or whatever, but you can't make that cool. The only thing you can make cool is what was gave to you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you was given some money, maybe you was gave. But you ain't got no talent, you ain't got no creativity, you ain't gonna do nothing with that money. You was giving money to brag, to your own kind or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times that's sorry for like a lot of other ethnicities sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Especially the Africans over here and stuff, because it's like y'all don't know how to do nothing else but be shields. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sad because y'all talking points is to not be shields. Y'all don't know how to do nothing else but be, like, without no culture, without nothing. Y'all don't know how to do nothing else but be shields. So sometimes I be feeling sorry for the people that be listening to y'all and stuff like that, that don't be having good comprehension, but it ain't up to me to teach them. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, what I'm teaching is just for everybody. Now, when we get into business is going to be through this formulation also. So the main thing that's everybody is going to be filtered through that makes them feel comfortable is initiating some form of communication or thought or idea. Now it's going to be filtered through where the sun is at, Sagittarius. So it's going to be filtered through wisdom, spirituality, morals, morality. You know what I'm saying? Some experience a person could calculate and then start to present, and then they can speak it and be the individual to present it in some way, shape, or form. So it's kind of like an independent way of releasing something that could be relatable through the forms of spirituality, morality, someone's moral system, however the case. And this is going to be the main filtering system that everybody is in, whether you're dealing with business, entertainment, education, religion, or politics. So keep that in mind. When we talk about business is going to be initiating, especially people that's trying to create a new business or whatever the case may be. The main thing is going to be initiating networking for something to match your life experiences, spirituality, morality, reality, or path to growth. So right now, a lot of individuals ain't gonna want to do no business. Like business is gonna have a filtering system through like growth. You might hear that word growth a lot. Like I'm trying to grow or got some growth or some goddamn shit and things of that nature. And I'm trying to, so this is where people trying to take their business at. So if you in a business right now and you think it ain't growing, you might start looking at the people you're around, and you might start having these type of conversations or try to create some more balance in these areas. You're going to feel like there's an unbalance, and you're going to feel uncomfortable unless that balance is had. So that balance is going to be had through forms of communication or sharing ideas that everybody is going to try to lead in some way. And if it's not mutable, so when it's talking about cardinal, there could be arguments too. There could be a lot of debates, or there going to be a lot of meetings and stuff like that. So when it comes to business, and at this time, a lot of businesses closed down and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of pre-context meetings about how to open back up, or a lot of meetings when it comes to all fashion, even if you in entertainment, before we get into it, about what you get ready to do to turn up for 2016, or what you get ready to do, or whatever the case. So this is going to be like the main thing. But the main thing gonna be growth. It ain't gonna be like money based. It's not at least the ideas right now. I'm not saying people not doing things for money, but what I'm basically saying is the formation of what's gonna make a person comfortable and willing to communicate and be like, let's go, let's go, Billy, and what everybody's doing with their business and stuff like that. It's going to be through the form of with some wisdom or experience, or stopping something that was done previously that didn't work, or however the case, even if it is geared towards money. It may be a new idea that seemed a little more wise right now, that is going to be compared and contrasted to something previously that didn't work if it got something to do with money. But the whole concept is going to be still filtered through, oh, this is more wise to do because of previous experience that we had. We could go ahead and expand and get out of that old and outdated energy, expand, learn, teach, or go ahead and try it now to see if this is going to be more meaningful, or so it could be the next reason to why we doing things in our business the way we doing it. Now, when it comes into entertainment is going to be filtered through communications from the individual, personal, or independent perspective about wisdom, morals, or principles, or life experiences duplicated through music, movie scripts, television, and social media right now, such as my channel right now, like content creators. So, no matter what they talk about, the content, whether it is involving business, entertainment, education, religion, or politics as a whole, shields online or whatever the case, but music, a lot is going to be more meaningful. It's not going to be so, let's say, surface driven. Even if it's a surface level song, a person may have meaning behind it that gives it more layers, to the point that the way you hear it now ain't so much of probably just the lyrics, that the lyrics was surface level and just about rims, or however the case may be. Ain't nothing wrong with these things too. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is the space everybody want to be in. It's like a certain look. People don't care about the look of a look. People care about the character to make the look, and then everything else is just an add-on. Once upon a time, especially if it was artist development. If they wasn't developing people, the look of the look will be more of the thing. But once you realize, oh, he ain't really from there, or she ain't really do this, or that ain't that's T-Pain's Rolls Royce, or whatever the case. Oh, see what I'm saying? However the case may be. That wasn't his car in that video. That was T-Pain. So you know what I'm saying? However the case may be, or whatever. It ain't gonna be about that. There's gonna be a person gonna be like, it's gonna be more the energy like, I don't got that. I don't care the look. If somebody do got that, for this perspective of how it's supposed to look for me to come across. Let me come across natural like me. This is the wiser way. So next video or next few videos, I may have that. It's a better attraction. So even if it's a bullshit song, people attracted to it because they was with me of the come up. I wasn't faking it. Well, however the case may be. But you know what I'm saying? That's going to be more the outlook of how people start to develop right now for the next 3 days of whatever people doing. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you making your music, if you making your comedy right now, it's going to be like kind of more down to earth, or however the case, or more meaningful, or have a moral at the end of it. Even when it comes into movies, it could be a comedian movie or whatever the case. It could be scripts being developed right now. Might not be released right now, but you know, directors that might be writing scripts. They might be in a space where they want to update something because they just now remember, wait, this whole sequence need a moral at the end. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a goofy movie, and people going to realize it's AI because that's all they can focus on. We was just focused on the action and AI, not the story itself. And you know what I'm saying? So a person going to be sitting back like, wait a minute, this need an overall moral to it. So that's going to be with movie script writers or whatever to make their, if people are in tune. They say billionaires have astronomers and astrologers next to them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They need medicine men. You know what I'm saying? Because medicine men much greater. You need a pilot man in the esoteric world. Because here's the thing. You can read books and be ushered into a business by taking the natural qualities like the college route and you meeting the right people and stuff like that. But there's always going to be minor problems when it comes to creative directors and stuff like that. And y'all needing that real energy and stuff like that. And for the most part, that can't be taught. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that can be taught is people who did it, who wasn't taught. And just the best way they did it, and make sure you do it this kind of way so you don't mess it up. That's the only thing that can be taught, not actually something natural. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes into actual creative directors and stuff like that, the industry really don't have that. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that, or we will be seeing better ideas created when it comes to distribution of music right now, developing artists, the oversaturation of podcasts. You know, everybody is not being original. So it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. No one's saying you can't make a podcast, but how you do it. You know what I'm saying? As long as you bring your originality or whatever the case may be, it's not, at some point, it's not considered a podcast. We all got the ability to make the audio world. You know what I'm saying? We all just making the audio world, the radio wave world. You know what I'm saying? The computer wave world. So at some point, it's whatever the fuck we do. It's whatever the fuck I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. That I made everybody get on YouTube to make YouTube feel like you can teach or something on there. So then they psyoped it and start creating lecture corporations and stuff like that, and all these FBI terms like the Pan-Africans and the FBAs and the ADOS and all these things. Just people who sit around and look the psyop stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we was all doing wrestling right now. They had psyop that. Hey y'all know we was the first wrestlers. I said you wasn't the first shit, but a damn. Well, hey. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta bring people back down to earth. Sometimes, like, man, chill out, man. Like, chill out, dude. When somebody got hit upside the head with a rifle or hit in the back with a switch. Man, be quiet, man. Anywhere else, man. Real man. Go be a good Christian, man. Be a good Christian, man. Be a good Hebrew Israelite, man. Go, you know what I'm saying? Go play in some devil's playground that's safe for y'all, man. All this other stuff, man. Y'all just be talking, man. What y'all talking about? Don't be making no sense at all. But they'll all be psyops. Now we got the feminist red pill psyop too. I ain't know women had that many problems and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Real, I ain't know. Which takes us right into education and stuff like that. Education, right? People will be in a position of wanting to learn, teach, or preach about something personal or broad that can help out others' personal circumstances via putting you onto something in the form of being prepared for a role or a path or something, and something ahead in some way, shape, or form. So that's how education gonna be. It's gonna be like a lot of people trying, whether you in the hood, whether you in some type of education, college, military, job, blue collar, white collar. You're gonna have a lot of people make you feel like they're giving you a wrapped up pre-context of their experiences and the do's and don'ts, just fashioned and crafted right to tell you in the form of advice in some way, shape, or form. Now remember, all people advice ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Due to the fact of the bias in which you are involved in. But at the same time, these is what's going to be what. So it's going to be some good game gave, just like what made me make this live stream today. You know what I'm saying? This is a good game to have. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of people try to warn you about what's to come and whatever thing that you're into or whatever the case may be. Where a lot of other times people don't. And you stumble and fall. You start to blame people in your life, blame the individuals that you feel like made you feel like it was important to get into that situation or whatever the case. But a lot of times, ultimately, these just be your decisions. You know what I'm saying? And when you know that these are your decisions, you start to get comprehended up. You start to make better decisions and knowing that it ain't about what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. So that's your decision of how you're doing things and things of that nature. A lot of people make poor decisions no matter what they do. Both of y'all could be in jail. You could be making more poor decisions than the other individual. Both of y'all could be at the top of the building in the white collar and blue collar business, but you probably make more poor decisions than someone else. And you like the CEO at Taco Bell, then y'all want to have chicken sandwiches at Taco Bell or something. You know what I'm saying? You want to have a Taco Whopper and stuff like that, Taco Bell and stuff. So it get weird and stuff like that. You get weird. You making the wrong business decision. They like, homie got to tell you, like, Don Julio got to tell you, the keto Taco Bell, this not bread and cane. You know what I'm saying? Bread and Burger King. Oh, you got to start telling you that stuff like that. You forgot stuff. You forgot shit. But yeah, when it comes to education is going to be through the form of someone just got a pretty packaged form of their experiences and the do's and don'ts and packaged and cracked up to explain to you. And it might be people telling you something that make you feel like you already know that or whatever the case may be, so you might resist it. Some people that might give you some bad advice because it's about robbing a bank. It ain't really about nothing that's positive that y'all could be doing. Or some good advice and things of that nature. Some stuff that you ain't see things that way. Like you might have been in a situation where you're looking at something and you're making the decision to go about it, but there's like a idea about it you ain't paying attention to that someone else can see. And you might get that information and be like, oh, damn, okay, I ain't see it that way or whatever the case may be. All right, now let me go ahead and be a little bit more cautious, or let me go ahead and speed up, or let me go ahead and look at it or go about it this way. Now, when it comes to religion is going to be filtered through the energy. Now, a lot of people ain't into religion nowadays. Even when people into religion, they done made up their own grandma version of it. So at some point, religion, it came to just challenging people beliefs and that ain't got nothing to do with religion. Like, let's say if you go into a church nowadays, they might read a few scriptures, but they just about to challenge everybody's belief in the audience that ain't got nothing to do with religion. So it's gonna be challenging somebody's belief about the relationship, belief about their job, belief about, yes, you know, you go to that job, you shouldn't do this, and that person you lay up with shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, them bills you gotta pay, you know what I'm saying, like just challenging. Oh, say, all right, baby, I don't really be about nothing. There's somebody trying to find something to debate. This is a hateful spirit, a judging spirit. Y'all ever think about that too? Like, it ain't really got nothing to talk about unless they judging something. Like, so this is really a judging spirit. Replace the word preacher with judge. So, you some judge that ain't allowed to judge. So, you like some prayer warrior. You like some new age version of what we used to do for real. So, you like a foreigner. Like, just like PREY. You attack the goal in your mind. You don't be no spiritual prey and wait for something, that thing run away from you. So even when you're in a physical circumstance, like when y'all say I pray at night and stuff like that, y'all talk about being a prayer warrior and stuff like that. We ain't think like when we said we pray at night, we want to pray on some damn Quakers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I say at night. You hear something, after a prayer or whatever like that. That's the only thing getting prayed. Some other species, but other than that, we love everybody. Everybody human and stuff like that. I'm just saying that was how it was seen back in the day. Y'all prayer warriors in today's time. Y'all just warriors about prayer or something like. Y'all say y'all some watered down version about stuff. So y'all good talk speech. You know what I'm saying? Y'all speak good Anglo-Saxon. Y'all speak good Anglo-Saxon. Shout out to all the Angles. Shout out to the real ones. Shout out to the real Mayflowers out there. Shout out to the real shout out to Bush. You know what I'm saying? But look, check this out, right? Politics. Even get into oh, wait a minute, we ain't finished religion. So religion is going to be the perspective of people will try to initiate conversations about how religion or those who preach religion for something that put unnecessary stress on themselves. So that's what religion is going to be filtered through right now behind closed doors. I speak from a broader perspective, not the preacher at the church making money because it's a job. Everybody's having jobs. You know, no conversations he be having with the person he be cheating on his wife with at the hotel. You know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. Those type of conversations and stuff like that he be having and stuff. Let me go ahead and start this because I don't know why it's getting all cloudy like. But yeah, them conversations he be having with the person he be cheating on his wife with at the hotel around his suburb or somewhere and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? That be the only time he be having those conversations about, yeah, I'm just a man. This stressed me out. This stressed me out, and this all that. So you just know he's like a warrior. He like some butt warrior or something like that he don't know what he a warrior for or whatever the case may be, and it's just putting unnecessary stress on themselves. So a lot of preachers gonna realize, a lot of theologians gonna get tired of fighting. A lot of theologians gonna realize, like, you know what? I'm tired. A lot of Jordan Petersons might be saying they tired right now, taking a little couple of days break. You know what I'm saying? These next 3 days or whatever the case may be. What's the other ones? So William Lane Craig's, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them take breaks. You know what I'm saying? They'll take a little break. You know what I'm saying? Defending some type of faith. You know what I'm saying? A lot of rabbis gonna take a break right now. So religion might just be challenged behind closed doors right now. Not so much in the forefront and so ready to teach it and stuff like that. Because there's too many people right now that's just in their own world. And we know culture kind of builds religion anyway, if it's a religion, but it really ain't no religion. A culture, and when people doing things, that's really where the God concept came from. So when y'all think about different gods, it's just a different, y'all listening or reading different groups of people ways of doing things as a collection of people. You know what I'm saying? And you might gravitate towards other people ways other than doing others and stuff like that. So you gotta look at it like that. That's what you're reading. You know what I'm saying? Now a lot of people took these things and like remixed it and stuff like that to based on their forefathers and stuff like that. Everybody got a forefathers. Everybody got forefathers and foremothers and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? We know what capitalism is today. But then we got politics, right? There will be initiations. So when it comes into politics for the next 3 days right now, it's going to be, now politics just means anybody little group effort or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to filter it into news channels and things of that nature and politicians, you can, right? Because they're into this type of stuff too. But when it comes into politics, right, there will be initiations about religion or a total disregard about religion or spiritual belief through the form of sarcasm, criticism, or malformed relations, or criticism on malformed relations, or the lack of profit success, and that's going to be the determining factor if someone's religion or spiritual system is worth it or not. You know what I'm saying? So within politics or when people's politicking, you might be in a different game than someone. Instead of y'all talking about how many stains y'all did and ranks, right? Y'all gonna be questioning y'all morals and another game moral right now to who got the better game or whatever the case may be. You're gonna be like, yeah, these people do this and we shouldn't do that type of stuff or whatever the case may be. Then if you want to filter it through like news networks or whatever the case, right? They might not have no choice but to do this kind of energy too, right? They might be dealing with things like how we got invaded in Venezuela back then. They probably might filter it through that type of form now. And, to make their religion or spiritual system not seem worth it or however the case may be, you know what I'm saying? There might be a bunch of narratives on the news channels about, well, these group of people as a collection lack in profit or lack in sufficient building or lack in, a bunch of colonist talking points, basically, where external things supposed to represent your spiritual nature and what's considered civilized. So for the most part, those things might be the form of rhetoric that's filtered through to determine if someone's spiritual system or religion is worthwhile or not to be respected. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, that's going to be all the qualities that we are experiencing during this particular time when it comes into sun being in 9 and the moon being in 7 at a 60-degree angle or whatever the case may be when it comes to everybody's business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. You know what I'm saying? And then right after this cycle, after the moon gonna go into Scorpio. And that's when it's time for people to get in their deep desires and their passions, that money. You know what I'm saying? But just start to get the ball rolling on whatever you was planning on getting the ball rolling on. It's gonna be that extra motivation to go ahead and strip naked or whatever. You know what I'm saying? However the case may be. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got 8 more minutes, 9 more minutes. So that get y'all in the, you know what I'm saying? So y'all can know and you can take it early. Sit up here and try to promote and sell myself, sell itself. I don't have to do that. I've been up here for 100,000 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do no more proving. Hold on, it's just blurry. I don't have to do no more proving, no more. Now we got everybody else online sucking and driving and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which is why it's important to take online breaks. Because I don't know if it just be my titles. But man, I be getting algorithms I don't be wanting. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, why is this person talking about this? Why is this person talking about that? So it'd be like, man, I be having to take, and then I be doing stuff anyway, real people, to realize nobody really be listening to that either. So it's like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know, maybe YouTube got to do like some type of update. You know what I'm saying? To make people realize that ain't what we want. What's that Lil Durk song? This ain't what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to get up here and hurt people's feelings. I can hurt anybody's feelings. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. But I don't even making that no job. You know what I'm saying? No duty. Like, online ain't a job. People try to scrape like what P. Diddy said and do that in the spiritual world and make that a job. You know what I'm saying? Y'all online. I don't know what y'all doing online, but y'all not gonna be able to look back at it and feel right. You know what I'm saying? None of y'all gonna be able to look back and feel right. It's gonna be a lot of deleting. It's gonna be a lot of damage control. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot of updating ideologies and stuff like that. Because these are personal pages. People have to understand that you should want your page to represent you and your people. Just like it was your MySpace. The moment you use it for other purposes, it look weird now. You ain't gonna like your page. If you ain't, you know what I'm saying? This is the y'all don't want to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? But this the position y'all be putting yourselves in. And I hate to even see y'all shields crash out that way. Like, because I'm not even supposed to speak on y'all, like, because it's just dormant. But it's like if I get online and then I see in my algorithm, it's like y'all on your own, but y'all act like y'all ain't. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be looking weird. They be like, what y'all think YouTube is? Like, man, what y'all think these social media apps is, man? Don't stop crashing out. Because eventually everything y'all saying gonna backfire on y'all, and y'all ain't did nothing y'all was saying. You know what I'm saying? It was just a look. You know what I'm saying? So y'all need to chill or whatever, like just relax. This is just people, regular pages. YouTube is like a video version of IG. IG is a short video version of Facebook. Facebook, it was just the second coming of MySpace during the MySpace time. Man, these things never been nothing different. I'm saying Twitter, just a written version of these things. Snapchat, here then gone later, 24 seconds, hours later concept. You know what I'm saying? So you got to like look at it like that. If you flood your stuff with a whole bunch of stuff because you just paid for it, stuff like that, you ain't going to look good in the future. You ain't gonna look good in the future, because like we're gonna go back like 2 years. You was Sonic the Hedgehog 4 years ago. You was a skateboarder 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You was a telescope myocropist. You know what I'm saying? 8 years ago, you was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta start thinking like, yo, we gotta be careful and stuff. Like we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful what we doing at each time of the way. Because some may be getting a check. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to set my tea and my coffee on that. I'm going to set my tea and my coffee on that. And that's just it. I'm saying this, or update some, get a little colder, get a little bit more technological, be more technical in the head or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Get a little bit more smart. Then it's good to go. It's forever lasting. Man, anything else, man, you gotta be careful. This is... Now, like I said, we could use 50 Cent for an example. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been telling people, these is like social pages. Got to make TV hot again. Then you can do what you want online on your own page. So the reason why 50 could like just overdrown his social media page, because he still had that interview though on that news platform based upon a documentary. See what I'm saying? So it's like, none of us can get on TV, so even though we don't care about it, it still got the mystique energy there. You know, you still need a handler and things of that nature. Online, we don't need no handler. We don't need no handler recommending they puppets and stuff to copy us. That makes it all phony already. That's the main reason why y'all pearly gates don't be working, or y'all Nick Fuentes or y'all Candace Owenses and all the other shields, the Arab shield, the other Arab, you got a couple Arab shields, not just Myron Gaines, the FBA shields, all those. That's why they don't be working, because it's like social media. So we can't watch Candace Owens like, oh, she's on a news network and this, that, and third. We can only look at her like, why do she choose to talk about this on her page all the time? You see what I'm saying? It's a different thing. So instead of us being like, oh, this is a television show, even if we know it's scripted, it's still on TV. We can't look at it like that. We have to look at it like, damn, this bitch talk about it more than damn Charlie Kirk's shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like that got to be the first. And then once we go down that train of thought, line of reasoning, nobody dumb. She just simply getting paid to say what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stop spoiling stuff for us. You see what I'm saying? Because ain't no way she getting 100,000 views like that. This is too many foreigners just talking. Just to be talking, because y'all made up a game, a talk. None of y'all getting ready to take y'all money and do anything with it that y'all complaining about everybody else doing. How y'all be getting paid by the people y'all claim against y'all and trying to stop y'all from something? That's weird. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. That's why I be having to take breaks offline, because I'm too intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Once I start talking and stuff like that, can't nobody use nothing and stuff like that. It's possible. Just make me president. I'm the esoteric president. Literally, I'm the esoteric president. So right now, I'm just helping everybody. I'm not involved. Business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. Everybody can take this little live stream, take your little gift, take your little negative that you know you might be seen negative. If you play too much of not these energies, you might be seen as not being able to get away with what you're getting away with. And go ahead and update your shit. You know what I'm saying? And whoever getting rocked to sleep and whoever getting over and whoever not getting rocked to sleep and whoever doing things peaceful. That's all y'all. That's all y'all. But this gift for all y'all. This gift is for all y'all. It's for all y'all. But I love all y'all. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You know, listen to the Mind of Planetary's Moon. I'm the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Araktaswa, Haël'Ho, Yahlahuè, Massasoit, Mama Natoy. You know, that's it. That's it. Yeah, be looking out on the OnlyFans too. I'm looking for people too.